These are known as the Watchers of the Throne, the Golden Brotherhood, and the Brotherhood of Demigods. The Adeptus Custodes are a legion of 10,000 superhuman warriors created by genetic and molecular engineering. In power level terms, they are as much above the Space Marines as the Astartes are to normal humans. However, the purpose for the creation of the Custodes weren't really meant for war, but for a grander vision of the future of the Imperium as stated in the Watchers of the Throne. But sadly, due to the Horus Heresy, everything went to shit, and here we are with the grimdark galaxy, and these almost perfect specimens of humanity have been repurposed from being companions of the Emperor to the ones responsible for the defense of the God Emperor's corpse interred on the Golden Throne, which to be honest is their only purpose, and everything else they do stems from that motive and oath. But still, like any organization, especially in combat-centric ones, there are ranks given to members, and a hierarchy of power and authority comes from the ones serving under this Adeptus, albeit these being almost informal. Anyhow, we are still going to list out the 10 different ranks that are vaguely defined within the Adeptus Custodes. Let's get to it. So the basic rank at number 1 here is the Custodian Guard. These are the backbone of the Adeptus Custodes, and they are formed mainly from the Hycanatoi, which are the main strength of this legion. They serve as heavy infantry, and by that you should know that and remember that just a single one of these infantrymen can fight through a squad of Space Marines. So these custodians wield a formidable Guardian Spear, which is a weapon that seamlessly blends master-crafted bolter technology with an exquisite power blade. Each custodian is far beyond capabilities of even the most seasoned Space Marines. This superiority is reflected in their war gear, their armor, their finely wrought Oromite armor, which surpasses even the best Astartes power armor, offering unmatched protection and also great mobility. Amongst the Hycanatoi, the Sentinel Guard form the defensive formations. They are tasked with protecting Imperial emissaries, sacred sites, and high-valued targets. As the most basic rank within the Custodes, the Hycanatoi and Sentinel Guard are anything but ordinary warriors. Each custodian is a force unto himself, trained for centuries in the art of war and imbued with an unshakable loyalty to the Golden Throne. The second rank here are the Specialized Custodians. While these are not really described ranks, they do deserve another spot here for reasons that will be explained. These are above the standard custodians in a way that is just informal, as they are specialized in operating more advanced or heavier equipment. These specialized units include the praetors and the Adeptus Custodians, who are highly mobile units specializing in harassment and rapid assaults by way of jet bikes. There are also the more experienced custodians who don the Alaris and Aquilan Terminator armors. Their armor provides exceptional protection, enabling them to withstand significant enemy fire while delivering powerful counterattacks. There are also the Sagittarium Custodians, who focus on ranged combat, and there are the Venetari, who are equipped with jump packs and are highly mobile units. While the custodians here don't really have a formal ranking above the rest of their brethren, they do deserve a spot here due to these equipment requiring custodians of higher experience for use rather than the basic infantry. The third here is the mortoi. In the Adeptus Custodes, just as in the Space Marine chapters, dreadnoughts hold a position of profound honor and significance. So these here, known collectively as the mortoi, or the honored dead who walked. These warriors are custodians who have sustained grievous injuries in battle, or wounds so severe that even their enhanced physiology cannot really fully recover. Rather than relinquishing their duty, these esteemed individuals are interred within advanced dreadnought sarcophagi, allowing them to continue their eternal vigil in service to the Emperor. The mortoi operate various dreadnought patterns, including the Contemptor Achilles, and the Contemptor Galatus, each representing the pinnacle of Imperial technology and craftsmanship. Within the Custodes Hierarchy, the mortoi are a distinct and elite cadre. Their presence on the battlefield is both a tactical asset and a source of inspiration, embodying the fusion of ancient wisdom, utmost loyalty, and the relentless pursuit or the spirit of defiance against all odds. The fourth rank are the Wardens. So Custodian Wardens are the elite warriors within the Adeptus Custodes. They are the equivalent of veterans of the Astartes, but they are way older and command more authority and power. Each warden has at least 5 centuries of experience overseeing the defense of Terra. The wardens are known amongst their comrades as level-headed and endlessly patient watchmen. Upon accepting the robes that mark their station, they swear binding oaths to fight as immovable sentinels, a living fortress of Oromite and sinew that no enemy will ever breach. The Heteran Guard, who are also more commonly known as the Companions, are all equivalent of wardens. They are an elite sect within the Custodian Guard. Many of the Companions are drawn from the ranks of these Custodian Wardens, or those who wish to pass the 5 centuries of Imperial service in order to join the Wardens. The Shadow Keepers are also another sect, also called the Wardens of the Dark Cells, and they are composed of primarily Custodians that are at the level of Wardens. Then there are the Wardens of the Vaults of Rhython, who oversee the most sinister devices and figures of the Dark Age of technology, and these two are of a similar rank. Upper rank at number 5 we have the Vexilus Praetor. So this rank of the Vexilus Praetor within the Adeptus Custodes is one of great honor and distinction. They are reserved for some of the most veteran warriors of the 10,000. These elite custodians serve as the standard bearers for their order, wielding the revered Custodes Vexilla, which are ancient and sacred banners that have been painstakingly crafted on Terra over the course of a century by the artisans of the Tower Aquiline. Unlike the banners of other imperial forces, the Custodes Vexilla are more than mere symbols of inspiration or terror. Infused with cryptic technology and arcane mechanisms, they provide invaluable battlefield support, emitting ever-shifting data codes that enhance tactical coordination and also relay strategic information to allied imperial forces. The Vexilus Praetors stand above the other veterans in rank, often serving as close advisors to the shield captains of a shield company and even sometimes of an entire shield host. Above this rank is the Blade Champion. The rank of the Blade Champion within the Adeptus Custodes is reserved for those who have proven themselves as peerless masters of melee combat, standing far above even their transhuman brethren. Serving as second in command within a shield company, they act as battlefield leaders of smaller Custodes forces, much like how a lieutenant serves under a captain. To become a Blade Champion is an honor beyond measure, granted only to those who have bested the most formidable enemies in countless duels and engagements. Their names are forever recorded in the Tome Eternal, a sacred text housed within the Emperor's own throne room, commemorating their legendary deeds. Though they formerly serve under the shield captains, many Blade Champions command their own warriors, drawing together bands of custodians and squads and even Sisters of Silence to wage war in the Emperor's name. In battle, a Blade Champion is the Emperor's living weapon. His singular purpose is absolute, to identify and eliminate the most dangerous threats to humanity. So above the Blade Champion is the Shield Captain. This rank of the Shield Captain within the Adeptus Custodes represents the pinnacle of command amongst the 10,000, bestowed upon only the most experienced and exceptional custodians. They are tasked with leading shield companies, which compose of 30 to 40 custodians. These warriors are entrusted with the missions of immense importance to the Emperor and also to the Imperium. Rather than a single rigid rank, Shield Captain serves as a broad classification which encompasses various command roles within the Custodes Hierarchy. Many of them hold multiple titles simultaneously, reflecting their diverse responsibilities. On the battlefield, shield captains may lead individual squads or entire detachments and even shield companies, sometimes fighting alongside fellow shield captains in renowned formations such as the Golden Brothers, the Heralds 3, or the Seven Shields, each of which have earned legendary status through extraordinary feats. Their presence in battle is a harbinger of victory, for where a shield captain stands, the Emperor's will is carried out with unbreakable resolve. Some of these equivalent ranks of a shield captain include being a prefect, which was a Great Crusade rank that shows that these captains are favored by the Emperor. There are also other ranks like proconsul and lictor, which are really vague in terms of responsibility and authority. And to be honest, they are just honorific titles really. However, some of them are really specialized, and that is seen in the case of the Lock Warden, who commands the Shadow Keepers within the Dark Cells of Terra, guarding and containing horrors of the old night and beyond from escaping and wreaking havoc on the planet. As a side note, the Custodes Command and Control Center is the Tower of Hegemond, which is present within the Imperial Palace, and although they might have come down to less than 1,000 at the end of the heresy, by the 41st millennium, they had rebuilt back to their original 10,000 strength, and so the shield companies and shield hosts are not really an exaggeration, they do exist. At rank number 8 we have the Captain Commander. So while the shield captain often lead a shield company into missions, the Captain Commander, which is really just another honorific rank, leads shield hosts into war, which might number hundreds or even close to 1,000 custodians, as the shield hosts are composed of multiple shield companies. Though not an official rank, those who earn it have proven themselves as paragons of war, leading their shield hosts with peerless skill. Amongst them are the Guardian Captain Commander, which is the most common, which exemplifies the Custodes' mastery of both melee and ranged combat, as well as their disciplined kata fighting styles. Some, however, have taken different battlefield roles, such as an Alaris Captain Commander, who dons the Alaris Terminator armor and specializes in breaking enemy lines, while the Virtus Captain Commander thunders into battle atop a jet bike, striking with unmatched speed. Regardless of their chosen path, Captain Commanders lead not from the rear, but at the very heart of the conflict, fighting shoulder to shoulder with their brethren. There is also one who bears the rank of an Aquila Commander, which is an equivalent rank of the Captain Commander but those who oversee the companions on Terra. Above a Captain Commander is a Tribune. So Custodian Tribunes are senior ranking custodians of the Custodes, second only to the Captain General. Back during the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, the Custodian Tribunate was formed, which was a council of around 10 tribunes that advised the Emperor directly and held supreme authority over the security of the Imperial Palace. But by the 41st millennium, only 2 remain: the Tribune of the Stratarchus, which commands custodians deployed across the galaxy, and the Tribune of the Heteran Guard, who oversees the Golden Throne's security. The body of the broader Custodian Tribunate still exists in an advisory role, but with its members being composed of senior shield captains and captain commanders. To join the Tribunate, a senior veteran custodian must earn at least 10 names and achieve 3 great victories. While tribunes rarely take to the battlefield, they would command mighty shield hosts when duty demands. And rank number 10, the Captain General. So the Captain General is the supreme commander of the Adeptus Custodes, and this, by the way, is a formal ranking. As the highest authority within the Custodes, he controls access to the Emperor and oversees the security of the Imperial Palace, thus making him one of the most powerful figures in the Imperium, often serving as a High Lord of Terror or one equal of rank in the Senate. But to be honest, none but a Primarch chosen by the Emperor himself would outrank the Captain General in reality. Since the Great Crusade, there have been 17 Captain Generals. Most perish in battle, either defending Terra or leading critical campaigns. Some chose to become the eyes of the Emperor, vanishing back into the shadows to safeguard the Imperium. Constantine Valdor was the first and the greatest, and as of the current setting, another great Captain General in the form of Trajan Valoris has taken up command. And lastly, there are ones that are called the Eyes of the Emperor, which are former Adeptus Custodes who, due to extreme age or injury or even slowing down of reflexes, can no longer serve at peak capacity. So they have voluntarily retired from their ranks in order to not be a hindrance or a weak link in the defense of the Emperor. Surrendering all of their Oromite war gear, they vanish into the void clad in black robes, but still yet continue their vigilance. Either acting alone or through networks of informants, they root out threats to Terra using fear, intimidation or brute force when necessary. Once a critical danger is identified, they alert the Captain General, prompting him to send forth Custodes strikes across the Imperium, and sometimes they even join the battle themselves. Those serving on Terra would gladly seek internment within dreadnoughts to continue their service in the front lines, if such a vacancy arises so they can be of direct use to the Brotherhood. This just shows you that retirement isn't really on the table for these guys, and only in death does duty end. And so with that, we come to the end of this video on the different ranks and hierarchy of authority under the Adeptus Custodes. Well, as far as I understand. So do leave a like for support and to help us gain traction with the algorithm. Also hit that subscribe button to be a part of the Legio Notebook. Till the next time, take care, boys.